10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff.
Hey everyone, Judgmental here with Judge Tom. We are just back from MSR Houston, where the swangers were swanging and the trunks were popped. It was fantastic.
Less fantastic, everyone was passing under yellow.
What do you mean, everyone? Keeping those delinquents in line was our esteemed panel of judges. We had Judge Sajeev, Judge Rob, Judge Bob, and Judge Tom. And oh man, they were up against it.
We had a bunch of great rookies at this race, including this team with a 2003 Sunfire, a great Monsters Inc. theme. Gotta say for rookies, they drove the scream machine with very little screaming involved.
Oh, that's good.
No, that's bad.
Rookies Old School Racing had another excellent theme based on the movie Old School. Their Jetta was done up as Frank the Tank's Red Dragon Trans Am, and Frank himself was there with a dart in his neck.
You're crazy. I like you. But you're crazy.
Cruiser Against had a Rockstar theme. They had to fix some problems with the cage.
Well, shit.
But after that, they drove really well.
Probably because they couldn't go fast enough to get into trouble.
Fair point.
Captain Planet made an appearance.
Captain Planet!
And Team Bring More Worst certainly brought a lot of the worst. Their car sucked, their theme sucked, and their bribe of uncooked sausages? That sucked. I did, however, fly home with a suitcase full of wieners.
As usual.
Another rookie team brought us our first lemon sidekick ever. It was hella slow. It got towed off the track a handful of times. Their choice of roof ornament certainly didn't improve the weight distribution, but somehow it stayed upright all weekend. It did, however, lose a wheel at one point, and the car was so damn slow, it got passed by its own wheel. We were really excited about this car, and it was totally primed to win something, but then it showed up and they made every rookie mistake imaginable.
I could have been a contender.
The oldest car in the field was a 1963 Dodge Dart. When this car showed up back in 2018, it was kind of a parody of Judge Bob's 1960s NASA-themed Dart. But then it had a Russian cosmonaut theme, allowing it to compete in a head-to-head space race with their American counterpart. At this race, it showed up with a clean new black and red paint job, and it came in 25th overall. Outstanding performance, comrades.
Speaking of outstanding performance, after years of stepping on their own wieners, Slow and Stupid Racing finally didn't shit the bed. They finished 19th out of over 130 cars.
Dropkick into Gear bribed Sajeev with a mini version of their Lexus SC400 and came in 43rd overall. These guys really killed it this weekend.
Thanks, Arthur.
This car, the Intoxicator, had mad Vulcan power.
I object to power without constructive purpose.
And Barely Legal's beautiful Chevy Blazer got creamed by Team Serrano Pepper Scuderia's Solstice. The Barely Legal Forester, however, won Class C, so it wasn't all bad.
Moose Knuckle brought an awesome Volvo 242, and our good friend Lee Childers brought a 1980 Plymouth Horizon and placed a super impressive 12th place. Looking back, not giving this car a trophy might have been a mistake.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
Orca Racing CTS has developed a reputation for catastrophic conflagration. It didn't catch fire this year, but it came pretty close. They wrapped a heat shield around the drive shaft and melted a hole in the gas tank. It's actually pretty miraculous there was no combustion.
We had 17 BMWs at this race, and the E46 of Breaking Bad Racing spun the BMW Wheel of Misfortune.
Hold on to your butt.
Scuderia Rougarou always goes above and beyond on their theme. They also gave the motor to Bieber Disco Miata, who we'll talk more about later.
Mental gave a really inspiring speech at the drivers' meeting. He used a metaphor about people holding doors open for his elegant southern grandmother and applied it to holding doors open for fellow racers. It was really heartwarming, but then ironically when the Ranger he was driving started dragging its exhaust, he was the guy blocking the traffic while fixing it out in the middle of the road in the paddock.
Metaphors are safer than Fords, I guess.
You know what they say Ford stands for, don't you?
Damn, you fine! Past tech without much experience and a terrible Scion TC. This thing had a shift lag so long, you could watch an entire Scion marketing department get hired, fire themselves, and then solve the entire brand before it found second gear.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
And Flaccid Chassis was back with their GM Sound of Power.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
Our Ass's Dragon had a kind of wonky dragon theme complete with flapping wings. And Laughing Clown had a great Talladega Nights theme.
He sold the windshield.
This sticker is dangerous and inconvenient, but I do love Figgy.
The car had been passed around a lot, and after spinning on track, Judge Bob gave him the flash dance penalty.
Party Girl is a rare example of a team that has a good attitude but is also super competitive. David Performance Racing, on the other hand, thought they were going to wipe the floor with their competitors. They brought a 2001 Porsche Boxster.
$500 my ass.
Everyone knows it's way too nice to be racing in lemons.
I don't.
Turned out to be a self-solving problem when it wrecked.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
Now, as the judge that classed that car, I was asked why it didn't get more penalty laps with all those speedy, cheaty parts that were on it. And for that answer, we go to our new segment, The Germans have a word for everything.
Verschlimmbesserung.
Which means an attempt to improve something that only makes it worse.
Dad Bod Car Mod drove a long way to get radio stuff for our staff, and they also helped us get the folks paddocked. They dealt with some electrical gremlins throughout the weekend, but ultimately they resolved them and finished in the top half of the field.
And the beloved WTF 40 broke a spindle on Saturday. They packed up and went home.
Globo Jim brought one of the two dodgeball themes at this race. They blew a head gasket and put a hole in the head. They didn't have a spare, so they called it. The other dodgeball theme was Schnitzel's Sushi Racing's Honda S2000. This car had a theme based on the sign that crushes Patches O'Houlihan in the movie. It got tagged by another car which messed up their front hub and put them out of the race for the rest of the weekend. In fact, this was a 4-car team and none of their cars took the checker.
Oh, that's not good.
The Ambulance Chasers had a great Waffle House theme with the following Anthony Bourdain quote on their hood. "It is indeed marvelous. An irony-free zone where everything is beautiful and nothing hurts." That's a pretty good encapsulation of what lemons means to me, and it got me thinking about car racing in general. People say that car racing is about split-second decisions, but I think it's more about surrendering to the momentum of inevitability. Well, that and corn dogs. The Dipstick showed up on Saturday with a great Dung Beetle theme on a 2000 Beetle.
We had some classic penalties because the judges couldn't be bothered to come up with some new ones, like the Bob Ross, Saran Wrap,
Passed under a yellow flag.
and the Bart Simpson. We also took inspiration from Whose Line Is It Anyway and made some folks do some improv.
Bad celebrity endorsements. Diddy's race lube.
Bad boy.
Here are your class winners.
The special award was the Texas Tea Sippin' 12th Man Missin', and it went to Big Rock Candy Mountain and their Bone Stock 2008 Camry. This car had a granny theme with knit blankets all over it, and the team gave out Werther's hard candies. The car also had a glaring discrepancy between the size of the front and rear wheels. They brought a student organization, the Orange Dames, an all-female student engineering team from the University of Texas. We love it when folks get young people involved, and we were glad to fan the flames of rivalry between Texas A&M team and the Longhorns. So we gave them a trophy.
Our heroic fix winner was Saturday Night Beaver. They bribed Ford enthusiast Judge Sajeev with a Ford Quality Care shirt. Despite blowing their motor on Friday, they disco danced through tech inspection. They thrashed on the engine for most of the weekend, but still took time to contribute food, drink, and disco vibes to the potluck on Saturday, and they took the checker on Sunday. Heroic.
The I Got Screwed award went to the Electric Lizard Plymouth Neon. Neons used to be super common in Lemons, but I guess there's a reason we don't see them anymore. This team repaired the front driver's side hub twice. They had some blow-by, but fixed that. They had some ECU issues and switched to a Mega Squirt. Then at the very end of the session on Saturday, the car spontaneously combusted.
Houston, we have a problem.
The driver got out safe and the car was salvageable?
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Okay, the car was toast. Luckily, they were able to get seat time in the number 98 car, which then promptly got T-boned. Double screwed.
Damn right.
Judge's choice went to the number 713 High Life Miata. Sajeev is from Houston and couldn't help but fall in love with this great Houston slab theme, complete with swangas and a High Life can on the roof. 3/4 of the team were decked out in Miller High Life garb, and the other guy, having misinterpreted the theme, was rocking a zigzag t-shirt. This team is the embodiment of everything you should do if you want to race a Miata in lemons.
Organizer's choice went to the rookies of mostly potential, rarely kinetic, and their Dodge Daytona Shelby Z. This is kind of a rare collector's car.
Really?
Dodge only made a few thousand of them, so to see it turn up in lemons was fabulous. The drivers were super clean, and it would have been an IOE contender if not for blowing up on Sunday. Still finished a respectable 60th place and took home a trophy.
Halloween Meets Gasoline went to Art Flash Racing, who were back with their famous twin-engine Ford Focus.
What the did y'all do to this car?
Team Captain Quincy changed his name to Stanky Leg Dan for the weekend and went in hard on a Texas Outlaws and Gunslingers theme. It was possibly an homage or a dig at Texas Judge Bob. The hat on top was a historic piece of Lemons memorabilia. It came from the famous Murley Marlin that raced in Lemons about a decade ago. Quincy was seen riding around in his paddock vehicle, which is a barrel filled with water. Why?
I don't know.
We may not understand it, but we all love it.
That brings us to the top prize in Lemons, the Index of Affluency, and it went to Team Lowball and their AMC-powered C4 Corvette. That's right, this team made the worst gen Corvette even worse by putting a 4-cylinder AMC motor in it.
But did it really make it worse, though?
That's a fair question.
This rust bucket is more than a car. It's a declaration of mankind's contempt for the natural order. It's hubris on wheels. Their theme was the American Motors Lemons Preservation Society, or AMLPUS. It was based on a Lemons World video that we put out a couple of weeks prior to this race. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and it's a smart move for them to play to our egos with this theme. They also did pretty darn well on the track with that AMC 4-cylinder, easy IOE.
And with that, here's Lemons in a nutshell.
Inside track. Quality tools. Lowest prices. Harbor Freight. There's a new shark. It's out, buddy. Get him.
Every second you don't subscribe or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?